The next item is item C, approval of the minutes. Before we approve the minutes, all the trustees got an email from a community member with respect to an item at the last board meeting. It was the G2 adoption, adopt resolution of written determinations and findings for the proposed Varela Elementary School site. So I would like to amend the minutes to say the following. Note, it is the district's regular practice to follow the Sturgis Parliamentary Code during school board meetings. During the consideration of G2, adopt resolution of written determinations and findings for the proposed Varela Elementary School site during the September 6, 2016 school board meeting. The Sturgis Parliamentary Code was not followed. Janie, I have a copy of this. You don't have to write. So I need a motion on the floor to approve the amendment to the meetings. May I get a motion to approve, please? Trustee Wolf?
I want to have a discussion on this.
Sure.
Second.
Second?
Yeah, we can discuss.
You're recognized.
Thank you. We do not have any board policy that states Sturgis is our only parliamentary procedure. That is not an official or a given policy of the board. Also, I would like to see that written change because I'm not quite sure what you're referencing that was not represented by the minutes about the conversation about the Varela property. So I am not in agreement. I know that we received a letter, but I believe you're referring to our letter from Mr. Armando Benavides, but I don't know what else you're talking about. So I am not in favor of changing the minutes, and especially not seeing the language in that motion.
I read the language in that motion.
I know you read it. I didn't see it.
Okay. Let me answer Trustee Ruebusch. Because of that, what I did was reach out to the superintendent, and I also reached out to our general counsel, and we talked about it and reviewed the bylaws. And at one time, that was actually in our bylaws, and during the updates, the bylaw, for some reason, didn't take effect. So what we will do is we will bring that back as an item for a future board meeting to either incorporate Sturgis or Robert's rules or whatever the board desires. But at one time it was in the bylaw, but the updates for some reason left that Sturgis Parliamentary Code out. So hopefully I answered your question, but that was the way that we can address a couple of things. The procedure that was in question, that the general counsel said this is how we can remedy it.
Who's the general counsel?
The Karen Mazanas of Lazaro and Smith was the name that Mr. Borgioli called.
I for one am very uncomfortable with this because I know we had a valid vote. We had, you know, the discussion question called second and we voted. I don't want to in any way imply that that was not, you know, proper procedure. So I am missing the finer detail of why this change is necessary. I'm probably not understanding.
I understand where you're coming from, and if I was sitting in your position, I would probably say the same thing. But I did reach out to council. This is the advice of council, and I feel very comfortable with going forward with this amendment. So if you would like to oppose it, that's fine.
Yeah, it just seems that she provided you a possible solution, but perhaps not the only solution to perhaps an issue that isn't a problem. This filing.
Well, she reviewed the facts of the matter, and this is what her decision was. So, did I answer your question? Because we have another person who raised their hand. Rick, did you, no, you, okay. Mr. Benevento?
Thank you. I'd like to actually refer you to Sturgis Standard Code of Parliamentary Procedure, and the subject is to call the question. And the language in here reads as follows. It is an informal way to close debate, and at the discretion of the chair may be treated as such. So assuming your actions at that point in time, that could be the assumption that it was treated as such. The chair may also proceed by general consent. The question has been called for, is there any objection to closing debate on the main motion? Or may take a vote, in which case there would be a motion and a second, and if indeed it were to be taken, the vote would then require a 2/3 vote. The assumption is, on my part, that by your action, whether it was misinformed, ill-informed, or just by virtue of not understanding the rules of procedure, the consent was given because you called for the vote. The vote was unanimous, 7-0. There was a motion, there was a second, it was a unanimous vote. The outcome of the vote isn't going to change, I don't believe. It's satisfied with the objective, which was to pass the resolution. So I'm not really sure I understand why there needs to be a change in the minutes to reflect that change. That's only my only observation.
And as I indicated to Trustee Ruebusch, this was the decision of council. She fully understood the situation. I had a dialogue. She looked at the email, and that was her decision. And I put that forth as a motion. Is there any other discussion on the matter? Trustee Gerard?
I just observed that during the discussion, I was the only speaker, and I had the sense that at least one of the trustees wanted to speak, and for whatever reason, you prematurely closed the discussion and went directly to a vote. I didn't see it necessarily as consent. I did see that at least one of the trustees wanted to speak on the question of the rural property.
Thank you. Trustee Ruebusch, you have to come up again?
Well, yes, perhaps, our attorney, Ms. Menendez, did give you a solution, but not necessarily to a problem that the entire board saw necessary to change. And so that is one concern. Also, as you called for the question, you turned to both myself and Tom and asked us if we had anything to say, and we shook our head to the negative, and we proceeded to the vote. So there wasn't a rush to a vote. It was Mr. Gerard spoke, the question was called. You said, anybody else want to say anything? And you looked at Tom and I, we said no, and we moved on, and we voted. And I don't think, as Bob said, there's going to be a change in the vote, but I don't see any reason to change them.
Okay, well, just to answer that question, I don't think everything that you said was correct, because I actually reviewed the video of it. So there was a video of that. So I actually reviewed it. So I don't. The motion is on. You had the right to not accept the amendment as I stated. And I think I clearly indicated to you what my reasoning is, and that is to address a community member's response to all of us. So I wanted to make sure that we put that in the minutes, to note it, and then move on.
Yeah, just ask you to restate first.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Trustee Barnett has been putting up his hand, so I'd like to go to Trustee Barnett.
So just recalling the events of that meeting, I know as a new trustee, I'm still figuring out all the procedures, and so I appreciate an opportunity to kind of review what are our parliamentary procedures so that we can make sure that we follow them. In Sturgis, at the very beginning of the book, it talks about how parliamentary procedures, the purpose is not to be used to control the meeting, but rather to ensure fairness in the meeting. And so I guess with relation to this particular issue, I don't think it's extremely consequential whether or not we amend the minutes. I don't think it's going to change how the vote turned out. There were comments that I had thought about sharing at that meeting, and when the discussion closed, I hadn't shared those comments, but you know, I think they weren't comments that would have changed the vote or changed my perspective on it. But anyway, I just want to emphasize, I think regardless of how we vote on the minutes, I think it's just a good idea that we, you know, just reemphasize the importance of using Sturgis, using these parliamentary procedures is something that we all refresh on so that we can make sure that the meetings are managed fairly.
Thank you, trustee Lemay. Yes.
I just ask you to please restate the amendment that you wish to have.
Sure. Note, it is the district's regular practice to follow the Sturgis Parliamentary Code during school board meetings. During the consideration of G2, adopt resolution of written determinations and findings for the proposed Borrello Elementary School site. During the September 6, 2016 school board meeting, the Sturgis Parliamentary Code was not followed. The motion is on the table. May I have a motion? Motion to approve?
You have a motion.
Motion, you have a second.
I need a second.
You have a second.
Trustee Badillo seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Yeah, I'm not sure who said nay. I also would like Aubrey to weigh in. So can I have, starting with a roll call vote, may I start from Aubrey?
Yes.
Trustee Ruebusch?
No.
Trustee Gerard?
Aye.
Trustee Arnett?
Yes?
Trustee Benevento?
No.
Trustee Badillo? Trustee Wolf? Borjoli's aye.
What was Wolf?
The motion carries forward. 5-2. With students voting. Yeah. Thank you, trustees. Great dialogue, thank you.